Grab your candle, grab your journal and your nervous system, because we are closing the cycle of 2025 properly, because we don't want to bring the same energy into 2026 and call it a new year. So today I'm going to take you along my end of the year reflections, and so you can follow along with me, or you can save this video and use it as a template to create your own journaling session. So what we're going to focus on is on reflecting what happened this year, what we want to release and not bring into 2026. So before we start the journaling session, let's set up the right way, because if you try to do this and you are rushing, you are distracted, or you're treating this as a homework, your brain most likely it's going to freeze and you're going to look at your journal and think about, wait, what even happened this year? So this is what I usually do to prepare myself. The first thing that I like to do is to block time to focus on this. I block an hour out of my calendar to do this. Now, if you don't have an hour to your disposal, you can break this session into 2 or 3 parts. Maybe you do 2 sessions of 30 minutes, or maybe you do 3 sessions. It's completely up to you and depends on your schedule. Just know that you don't have to do everything in one set. Just something to keep in mind. The second thing I do is a memory refresh. So I like to go through my camera rolls and look at the pictures that I took this year, any video, any screenshots. Also, I'm going to go through all my journals for this year. This is the one that I found so far, because for some reason I decided that I didn't want to date my journal. I was too lazy to do that. So these are the journals that I know for sure I did this 2025. So I'm gonna go through this, because this is the thing. A lot of times our brain like to remember the stressful situation, but conveniently tends to forget the process that we made through the year. So this is a great way to refresh your memory. The third thing is to treat this as a ritual. So I like to do usually is to create an environment that makes my body feel safe. So I light up some candles, some incense or Palo Santo, whatever I have to my disposal. I'm going to light up this sandalwood. I haven't tried yet, so I can't wait to light this up. But honestly, you don't have to be extra with it. You can maybe go in a place in your home where you feel very comfortable, where you feel safe. Maybe that is that you grab a cup of tea, maybe a bottle of water, a blanket, or like a cozy sweater, whatever tells your nervous system that we are safe to be vulnerable. And lastly, set the intention to give yourself permission to be real and vulnerable, because the only way that this session is going to work if you are radically honest with yourself and you stop performing in your own journal. So I like to put one hand in my chest and another hand in my womb. I breathe in and out, and I tell myself I'm allowed to feel whatever comes up. I am allowed to be honest, and I am not rushing through this. And that's it. Now that I went to the setup area, I'm going to do exactly that now. So I'm going to refresh my memory and go through my phone and see all the things that happened this year. Oh my gosh, I forgot that they banned TikTok on on January 18th. Oh my gosh, that was so crazy. Me and my best friend, we were like not having it. It was wild times. That was insane. That's a lot of good things that happened this year, that as I'm going through my camera roll, I'm like, huh, I had a really good year. I did. Okay. Now I'm gonna go through my journals. This is the first one. I couldn't find the one from January, but I know I started this one on February. Some of you refresh my memory. I'm gonna go through some of the pages. I'm not gonna go through all of them, so let's see. Let's go through one more. What? Oh, this is for my trip to Mexico. So second journal, I just going through the pages quickly because I write a lot and I still have another journal to go through. Girl, I'm getting a bit emotional reading this. No one laugh. Oh, dude, my journals are a roller coaster. It's crazy. Last one, and this is my current journal that I almost done with it, and I started this journal on July, so that's a lot to go through. Okay, let's do a little bit of reading on this one. I just finished going through my journals. It was very interesting reading through them. It was very emotional, but also very funny. And I started noticing patterns. So now that I went through this and went to my photo gallery, I'm going to set the environment and I'm gonna light this candle. Just, set the vibes. I'm coming here. And I'm gonna light some incense now. Oh my god, this smells amazing. And I have a cup of tea here. Cannot drink half of it already. Now that we set the vibe and I set my intention, I broke the journaling session in 4 parts. So part 1 is about win, accomplishments, and progress. Part 2 is lessons, challenges, triggers, and part 3 is emotions and identity, and part 4 is environment, habits, and routine. I'm going to move through each part in order. If you want to do this with me, make sure to pause whenever you need it. Also, take what you need. You don't have to do all the journal prompts if you don't want to, if it doesn't resonate. You can customize it and make it your own. So now that we are clear on this, let's start with part 1. I'm starting with win and progress because my brain loves to downplay them. So that's why I'm putting progress and wins on the top of the page. So here are the journal questions. What am I the most proud of this year? What was the moment that brought me the most joy this past year? And what made them special? How did I make progress on my personal goals? What was something that I tried this year for the first time? And what was a goal that I didn't accomplish, but that I want to continue to work on in this incoming year? You can pause in here and write, and I'm going to come back when I'm ready and share my thoughts with you. Okay, I am back and I want to share with you a little bit of what I wrote for 2 of the journal prompts. When it comes how I was able to make progress on my personal goals, what helped me a lot was pushing through the uncomfortable emotions. Even though I felt uncomfortable, even though there are days that I didn't feel like it, I was feeling unmotivated, I kept pushing through it and I still show up for myself, and not allowing those emotions to control my action has been so helpful for me to be able to make progress and show up for myself. Now, things that I tried for the first time this year, a solo travel for the first time this year, which is crazy because I love solo dating and I have been thinking about solo traveling, and that was something that I never pulled the trigger onto this year, and I'm so happy I did because I love every aspect of it. I went to Mexico and I had such a great time in Mexico, and I met wonderful people. I tried snowboarding for the first time, busted my ass, but it was a good time. It was fun, and I kind of got the hint of it a little bit by the end of it. The other thing that I tried for the first time was creative directing my first photo shoot. It was so fun, and doing this kind of pushed my creativity, and I was able to create something beautiful and authentic to me. And collaborating with my best friend to do this photo shoot, it was amazing. I loved it. And the last thing is that I tried Ethiopian food for the first time, and it's actually really freaking good. It's amazing. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to label this page lessons and challenges, because I want to take the wisdom of all the things that I have went through this year without turning it into self-judgment. This one is gonna be a bit long. If you're following along with me, make sure to hit pause and come back when you're ready. So I'm going to journal it now. Alright, so this is what came up for me. So my biggest lesson for 2025 was learning to be okay with the discomfort of taking risk. At the beginning of the year, when I did my solo travel, I went to a business retreat. And in this business retreat, there were a lot of entrepreneurs and content creators that were successful in their industry. As we were doing a mastermind, there's one of the girls who is a very successful entrepreneur. She said that the reason why she has been able to be very successful at what she does is because she take a lot of risk, and if she get an idea to create something, she take action, and she will figure it out as it goes. Like she will polish and make it better as she continues to learn, and as she can see where it needs to be polished. And that, it has me thinking, because I was doing the opposite. I used to be someone that I would analyze every step, or I would plan every single step of the actions that I want to take when I get an idea. And that used to create a lot of delay in the excitement that I usually experience at the beginning when I get the idea. By the time I kind of quote unquote feel ready, it has vanished, and I don't longer want to take action on that idea. And thinking about this and what she said, I told myself this year I'm going to take more action, and I don't have to figure it out. I just going to upgrade and polish things as I go. But I quickly realized that the issue for me was not the action itself. Part of it, yes, but mainly what I was struggling with was the emotions that it will come out when I'm trying something new, when I'm putting myself out there, when I'm taking that risk. So what I learned was that I needed to learn how to support myself emotionally when I'm going through those experiences, so I'm able to be consistent with the actions that I was taking. So for me, it wasn't only about the action itself, and I was using planning and preparing myself as a protective mechanism, so I didn't have to take the action. And it felt like progress because I was planning, I was strategizing, but I was not implementing. So what this taught me, to be able to take risks, I need to support myself, support my nervous system to feel safe to proceed, but also being okay with not having all the answers right away. And as I continue to show up, trust that the answers that I need and that I'm seeking, they will come. So that is my biggest lesson of 2025. Okay, now we are moving to the deeper layer, which is belief, identity, and emotions. So this is the part where I usually see the pattern behind my behaviors. It might take me a minute to finish this one. So here are the journal prompts. Was there any part of me that I was hiding or shrinking, and why I was afraid to share this part of me? What was the belief that I keep repeating to myself that was creating a blockage in my growth and expansion? What emotion did I suppress instead of letting go? And which part of my life I kept self-sabotaging? You can pause here if you're doing this one too, and I'll be back in a second. So I'm gonna share one piece of what I wrote. So I noticed that I was feeling a lot of anxiety when I was about to go on date, which I think it was normal, but I noticed as well that I felt as if I needed to perform when I was on dates with guys out of fear of abandonment, out of fear of not being chosen. And one guy that I really like, this guy, he stopped texting me for a date, and I was literally like mentally like freaking the fuck out. And I'm like, wait, I only been talking with this guy for like a month and a half, so why all of these emotions are coming up? So that's when I actually sat down and went through those emotions and realized that, okay, this is like literally a clear sign of attachment. Eventually things didn't work out, maybe because of it, I don't know, but I think it did contributed of how things ended. But yeah, this is what came up for me in this part. So last page, this one is going to be about habits, routine, and environment, because your routines and your daily actions and behaviors, they will be the dictators of the future that you will experience, because every action that you take every day, they will compound into a future. So this is an area that I definitely going to take a look. So here are the questions that I'm going to be answering. So what was one habit that I developed last year that I want to keep, and how did that habit change me? Which habit has been slowing me down? And the other question is, where did I spend most of my energy, and was that worth my investment? The last question is, what routine supported me best, and in which way did provide support? So I'm writing again. Pause it here if you want, and I'll see you in a bit. Alright, I am back. So here is what I noticed about myself. A habit that I started to implement that I want to keep next year is weekly check-ins. I started doing this out of the blue around like March, April last year, and I noticed a huge shift for me. I started being more intentional and strategic about what was going to be my actions for the next week. Helped me to pivot intentional, not out of fear. So this is something that has been amazing for my growth and my progress this year. I actually made a video about it. I might add it somewhere here. One of the habits that I want to leave behind that has been slowing me down is scrolling on social media and watching a lot of TV. I know I love me a good TV show. I spent a lot of my time during the summer watching Love Island. That was my first time, honestly, and last time watching Love Island. I'm not watching it again this coming year, honestly, because it was just taking so much of my time, and during the week I was not doing my routine because I was watching Love Island. So I'm not doing this again. What routine supported me best, and in which way they provide me support? So I would say both my morning and night routine. I clearly can see a difference when I don't do it. My night routine helped me to wake up more energized and being able to be more productive the next day. Also, my morning routine, I usually do meditation, journaling, but then this year I started doing nervous system regulation. I do a little bit stretched and also self-smoothing. Another thing that I added recently to my morning routine is that once I done my nervous system regulation practice, Once I got to the bathroom, I'm brushing my teeth and I'm doing my skincare, I started playing music so I can feel more excited about the day. So that one, love it, love it, love it, love it. So those are things that I definitely want to keep as well this coming year. Now, looking back at everything that I wrote, if I have to describe this year in one word, it would be transitioning. Even though I did not accomplish my goal this year, I was able to see a huge amount of progress compared to the year prior, and the way that I have been showing up for myself, showing up for my goals, I have been so much more consistent than before. I had tools and practices on how to support myself through this journey. My goal is so much clearer, and all of that has contributed to feel as I'm going through a transition where I am not yet where I want to be, but I'm seeing the progress. I'm getting closer. The path has become a bit more clear for me, a bit more bright, and I started to feel more excitement for what the future holds for me compared to the year before. Because I'm very nosy, if you want, of course, comment your one word, because I'm genuinely curious to see what kind of year everyone is closing. So drop it in the comments. I want to be in your business, okay? So this is the way that I like to do my end of the year reflection. Again, you can use this video as a guide, a template to create your own. Like I mentioned earlier, if there's a session or journal prompt that doesn't really align, doesn't resonate, you don't feel like it, don't do it. You can change the journal prompts, you can do something else, or you can skip it. This is your time to reflect and be vulnerable with yourself. So make it something special, something that you look forward to do, that you are present while you are doing it and you don't rush through it. So another thing that I want to mention is, if heavy emotions show up when you are journaling, do not rush to distract yourself. Allow yourself to feel those emotions, because the only way out is through. And emotions are just temporary sensation. When you allow them to be felt, they will pass faster than when you try to fight them. And if you're feeling disappointed because maybe you didn't accomplish the goals that you promised to yourself at the beginning of the year, this is not the time to start blaming yourself or spiraling. Instead, use this time to forgive that version of yourself who was struggling to show off, who was going through it this year, and parent her, give her love, be gentle with her, because this is how you released old identities. You don't change by being hard on yourself. You change by being honest and vulnerable and choosing yourself all over again. Thank you so much for spending this reset with me. I really appreciate you. If this helped you, like, comment. Some more people who need this fresh start can also find it. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.